Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit Feature Tournament number 4. We're just about to wrap up Group B here. Going to jump into the final match of the day. I'm TJ, once again, joined by Trump. Trump, it's been a pretty exciting day of matches. We had a couple 3-0s to start the day, but the last two have been pretty grueling, and it all comes down to Dart and Roger. You said Roger really impressed you in the first couple series, but there were some plays in the last one that you disagreed with. Who do you think has the leg up in this series, would you think?
Well, I mean, Roger is really impressed, and Dart threw pretty hard on the last one, but he did manage to barely win. Roger barely lost against Strifecrow, who is the first winner of this one. So, judging off of performance, I actually give the edge to Roger. Let's see. Based off of deck lists, Roger does have that Druid, which is going to get punished by Dart Zoo. And
Rogue, also pretty good against Druid as well.
yeah, that's true. The Druid. I just agreed with you subconsciously, but I don't actually agree there. I think Druid's pretty good against Rogue. Um, so I think the matchups are going to be fairly even here. A lot of it depends on whether or not Dart can get that free win by queuing in Zoo against Druid.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I think the prospects on both sides are fair. There's a lot of opportunity to outplay, though.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see. Both these players have had about the same amount of success so far today. Dart has struggled a little bit more, but he has managed to pull it together. It seems like he has momentum on his side as well, winning the last 3 of his matches. So Dart is going to throw out the Demon Zoo first. We'll see what Roger is, and it looks like with the Sludge Belcher that it is Druid. I don't think there's any other... no, it could be Handlock as well. Oh yeah, it is Handlock. Okay. So Handlock versus Zoo.
Classic.
Yeah.
Used to be a much better matchup for Handlock, but these days it's started to get down to about an even matchup. The Zoo's goal is to be able to get enough pressure on the board. I believe Roger lost to Strafcrow Zoo with this Handlock versus Zoo, if I remember correctly. Somewhere in here there was a Zoo, which beat a
Yeah.
Handlock.
I can't remember. Too many games mixing together today. That last series really threw me for a loop.
Yep.
Roger.
Roger with a slow-ish hand. In this matchup, you can get away with. This is like the matchup, unlike Hunter, where you can just barely get away with tap giant. Drew into the Ancient Watcher, so it may be tempting to Ancient Watcher into Owl Tap, just because if you tap right here, you're only hoping for exactly giant units making. Silences the egg. That does eliminate a 4/4 in the future, and Dart could have activated it with the power overwhelming.
Yeah. Just getting that out of the way earlier rather than later, because he knows that egg's eventually going to get value, whether or not he has to AoE down a board or, like you said, activating that with the power overwhelming. Roger's still not finding one of those big threats early. Not finding a Twilight Drake, not finding a Mountain Giant, even though Mountain Giant would be a little bit of a liability.
Right.
He does have a
This hand's interesting though. He's got two main choices. One is to do Watcher. The other is to split the difference and go Watcher tap. Now that he drew the Hellfire, it actually opened up a possibility where he can go Watch, where he just taps and doesn't do anything. But the Hellfire isn't very good on this board. The reason to Watcher last turn is so you could play Defender of Argus this turn, but Roger electing to take it slow. He's gonna, if he wants to keep on curve, which was his original plan, go Sludge into Watcher Argus. But now that he drew the Twilight Drake, that card is big enough, and Roger is willing enough to take the damage that there's no need for taunt.
Fortunately, he will be a little bit sad because there is an owl to bring down this Twilight Drake. Dart has to decide what's the best way to clean it off afterwards. He could Defender of Argus up his egg and kill it off, getting via that egg and the Imp Gang Boss. He can just sacrifice the Imp Gang Boss as well.
Yeah, I like silencing and then using the egg. Plus, you can Defender of Argus your owl as well and get it out of coil range.
Yeah, that's true. Since both Imp Gang Boss and Voidwalker are already out of Hellfire range, you can bring the Imp Gang Boss out of Shadow Flame range.
That's true. Both of your minions currently on the board, though, the ones that matter, kind of have Death Rattle. Oh, this is an interesting call.
Do that. Just replace your Void Caller with another Void Caller and bring him out of Shadow Flame range.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play. I suppose the downside of that play is he doesn't actually have another... The Void Caller is kind of valuable even if there's nothing to bring out yet. Because eventually there will be. Roger goes with the expected Watcher, Defender of Argus. That's going to be quite a wall to get past.
Yeah.
Power Rolling on the Owl is an easy way to get rid of one. But the other one is more tricky.
Lotheb is a way to buy you time, though.
Yeah, that Lotheb's really good to protect this board. It's a pretty big board.
So he's baiting that he has a demon. Because last turn he emoted that it was a mistake by Void Collaring out another Void Caller. And this turn he moused over the Void Caller for just a second with the Power Overwhelming to give the illusion to Roger. Oh no, and then he traded it in. Never mind.
The illusion is shattered.
The illusion is shattered. I'm not sure why he emoted that was a mistake then. Oh well. Maybe he was planning on going for it. He did have an extra turn to buy himself with the Lotheb, but... Well, Dr. Boom's just going to be played here, and Roger's going to have a... Not the worst time dealing with that. BGH Hellfire will clear the whole board, actually.
Yeah, even better, he could get the Molten Giant out. In fact, he's very likely to get the Molten Giant out. In fact, it's impossible for him not to.
Yeah. He's probably going to hope that the Boobots don't hit him for too much. But even if they only hit for 2, for 1 each, he still has exactly enough. And he's going to hope for exactly
Roger
that.
actually a little bit happy that Dart didn't attack. Dart, of course, playing around the Molten Giants. This is going to be a big swing for Roger. This is the turn where it all comes crashing down for Dart.
A reasonable outcome. That's exactly average. 5 damage from... a little above average.
Oh boy, okay, Dart has one chance at this. Doomguard, tap, abusive, here we go.
Or Doomguard tap, second Power Overwhelming.
That too. Oh, he's actually deciding between just playing the Terror and the Doomguard though. No, he's gonna go for the riskier play. The one that likely has the highest chance of winning, I'd say.
Ooh. And he realizes that he's probably locked out of the game from here on out.
Yeah, at least he gave himself the chance.
Yeah. As Roger is going to go back up to 10 health, clean off this Doomguard. Also, he's going to leave 12, 16, 19 damage on the board, which if Dart taps is lethal. So that is going to do it. Alright, Dart goes ahead and concedes. He did give himself the opportunity, so he did have a chance, at least, at the end there, with, like you said, Abusive Sergeant or Power Overwhelming. But he is going to fall in Game 1 to the handlock of Roger.
That he did. Do you remember how much the Boombots hit for? I only saw the second one for 3.
The first one was 2.
Okay, so average. Yeah, in the case that the Boombots did an extra 2, that's pretty unlikely. But there's also the world where Dart could have hit for 1 more with his guy if he saw that play coming. But really, Roger had the perfect answer. The Hellfire, the BGH, and the Molten Giant. That's tough to play around.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Dart put himself in the best position to win by not attacking. It was probably a smart plan, allowing him to only play like 1 Molten Giant. And... well, I guess he still would have been able to Shadow Flame anyway, so... That would have been his whole turn. And we are going to move into second game here. This is going to be a Patron Warrior Mirror matchup. So both players choosing to throw out the Patron Warrior.
We go. Opening hand from Roger is really rough with 3 dead cards, and the Emperor Thorsan is nearly a dead card because you usually need to play it with other cards. The Battle Rage is also a dead card, so Roger's hand needs some improvement. Over in Dart World, Unstable Ghoul into Acolyte of Pain is a worthwhile consideration.
Does get punished by the Fiery War Axe, but I think Roger only runs 1.
Yep, also some consideration to possibly getting punished by Coin Acolyte. So Dart decides not to chance it.
He wouldn't have gotten punished. And now it's kind of tough because if he plays it now, then all of a sudden he has to worry about Despite also. But Dart... Ooh. A little feisty there.
Just playing the Naked Acolyte, feisty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this matchup, just speed of draws is important. You do have 1 piece out of the 3. Doesn't get punished on this one. No Coin Despite. The slam on... Oh, wow. Dart just collected the 2nd piece of the combo. So, all he's looking for is ideally an Inner Rage. 2 draws at it. Probably 3. 4 even. If you count the natural draw. Oh, wow. He picked it up. Okay. This is going to be tough for Roger.
He needs to get like a Harrison Jones to stop the Despite. Okay. Surprised he didn't go for Acolyte Whirlwind, but I guess it's the same outcome either way. He still draws a card. This way it puts more power on the board as well. But now...
Kill a guy with Despite, and it's great as well.
Dart's lining up for the turn 6, the ultimate Patron power play. Despite equipped.
Yep, Roger still with nothing. He's got 10 cards in hand also, which is another problem. You can't even just cycle the shield block. Can't play the Acolyte of Pain for fear of drawing more cards. Coin Emperor is a possible play, but if he does that, he is reducing 3 pieces of combo, if you count Whirlwind as combo, and Frothing definitely as combo. But another problem is you're playing it into the Despite, which Dart will be happy to do. Yeah, tough spot. I guess the other play is to execute, just to deny a card and shield block. If you feel like the Emperor isn't going to win you the game.
Ooh. Well, he gets his own Patron combo. And...
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Roger voluntarily throws a card away.
He feels his coin is going to be worth more than a random card from his deck. Which could be a possibility. He does have a lot of pieces that he needs, but it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. And to be honest, Roger can actually make more patrons.
Yeah, Roger actually picked up some very key cards there with the last 2 draws. He picked up Grim Patron, he picked up Inner Rage. Tossed the Grim Patron. That's not a huge problem because only the first one really matters.
Well, actually, he can't quite. Okay, so if he plays his own Patron, Inner Rages, and plays double Whirlwind, he'll be left with 6. Dart would go up to 6 as well. Yeah, he wouldn't be left with more. I think at the end of the day, it'd be exactly the same outcome. They'd both be left with 6.
The Thorsan is looking pretty good, though. It's now hitting the Grim Patron and a Frothing and 2 Whirlwinds. If Roger had a Warsong Commander, this could be quite a glorious reversal.
But he's going to need it. Yeah, he might as well. Ooh. I'm not sure how much I like that.
Right. The inner rage represents 6 damage, 2 by default plus 3 from patron. Actually, it represents a lot more than 6 because the other patron can spawn. So it could represent as much as 10 damage, that inner rage. 0 mana, deal 10 damage.
Feels like execute would have been a...
But you have to toss the coin then. And Roger must be thinking that one of the ways he can get through this one is through Warsong Commander Frothing Grim Patron, which is 3/5 9 mana, and then you double Whirlwind. So with the coin, you speed it out by a turn. You might have calculated that he should be able to survive 2 turns of the beating.
That's a tough calculation to make, to be honest. And it looks like it is going to happen, but Dart is like a whirlwind effect away from being able to do a lot of damage.
That he is.
Slam. That doesn't help. I
He
mean, he
might
can
just
cycle.
it. Yeah. Oh, he's going to cycle on his Acolyte. That's good.
2 draws.
2 more cards of Battle Rage. Roger has a lot of damage if he draws Warsong Commander. 4/8. Oh, misses. He's got one more draw at it. Well, no, he's got some time.
I think he has to throw an Armorsmith here. He can't risk one of these Warsong Commander being overdrawn.
No, he used the... Oh, that's right. Yeah, he has
There's
to.
an Acolyte of Pain on the board.
Oh, that's tough.
Because he's not going to win by outvaluing, I don't think. Is Acolyte or is Armorsmith worth more to him than a random card from his deck? Also, is Acolyte going to kill him? Or, sorry, is Armorsmith going to kill him by playing it?
Oh, boy. Second
wow.
Acolyte. That's a feisty line to take. I like it.
He doesn't have enough mana to Warsong Frothing Grim Patron.
That's right. But
He doesn't have enough mana to Warsong Double Frothing, though, which is even better. So I guess he still preserves his play for next turn.
Right.
This is going to be close. Oh no, the Armorsmith. The Armorsmith might block it.
Yeah. Every Whirlwind effect is going to give Dart 7 health.
But every Whirlwind effect will give
A Frothing Berserker 7.
Roger.
So instead of adding 14, it adds only 7.
So will it be enough? I don't think so. That's if he draws into Warsong Commander right now.
He's given himself a lot of chances to draw it. And miss. And...
Yeah, I don't think there's a way.
Even though the board is full, with only 2 Whirlwind effects, with 3 Whirlwind effects, there might be something here.
Well, he can get 3 Whirlwind effects in a weird way by throwing out the Unstable Ghoul, double Whirlwind, and then interraging his own Unstable Ghoul.
The problem then would be
The Frothing
don't kill
Berserker.
the Armorsmith, because then that puts a space on the board, and if you don't kill the Armorsmith, you give the opponent 21 armor.
Well, also, he doesn't kill the Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, the
Kill
Frothing
the
Berserker
Frothing
is
Berserker.
a little bit of a problem.
Okay, he's gonna axe down the... What? If he should have attacked with the Fire War Axe to the Frothing Berserker first. Oh no, because then that would have left another patron up.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
All right.
he realized...
There's
Well,
no way.
no, it actually wouldn't have. It would have spawned one more, but it wouldn't have been able to propagate. Well, it would have, so he realizes that There was no way for him to do that, so Roger goes ahead and concedes out. Series is going to be tied up 1-1. Dart does take the mirror matchup, and the decks that line up now are Dart's Zoo, which would be good against Druid, very good against Druid, decent against Patron. But then Roger has Patron and Druid, which both are good against Rogue. I actually said that Rogue was better against Druid, but you disagreed with me, and actually the stats are in your favor with that one. So we got mid-range Druid and Oil Rogue. Mid-range Druid has actually over a 60% win rate against Oil Rogue with a pretty large sample size of about 90 games. So 56 wins for mid-range Druid, only 35 wins for Oil Rogue in that matchup. So it is definitely mid-range Druid favored.
Yeah, so a lot of this is just going to come down to does Zoo match up against Druid? Dart might take the path of just he queued in Zoo here. He really wants Zoo versus Druid. I guess with the mentality, okay, even if I match up against Patron and I lose, then at least I guarantee a matchup against the Druid. A lot of different queuing strategies that are possible.
Yeah.
Maybe Roger saw through that and went with Patron. Maybe they had completely different lines of thought. Who knows?
At the end of the day, it's really hard to try and predict. There is some strategy behind it. The strategy is made better the more you know about your opponent. But sometimes, even then, people can throw curveballs and just pick whatever deck they want to, not put strategy. And in the end, that sometimes is the better way to do it.
Yep. A lot of different philosophies in terms of which one to coin out against the Patron Warrior. You're afraid of Axe, so sometimes you go with like a Creeper or an Egg, but Dart just charges forth with the highest attack value, the one that would do the most damage. And that's a fine way to go.
So Roger has Dustbite, which is a great card for this matchup, but not really too much Cycle. He's got no Machine Vendor, but no Acolyte, no Battle Rage. And Dart has one of the strongest openers that you can have as a Zoop Warlock with the Nerubian Egg into Void Terror. So he's going to be sitting in a decent spot. He's going to take a lot of damage from these Axe Swings.
The good news is the Creeper comes out after the Despot, so that's not a counter, I guess. Dart has to think about whether he wants to stay mana efficient with a tap instead of a Flame Imp, or if he wants to play the Flame Imp and the Creeper. In this case, since it looks like the hand's a bit clunky, makes sense to tap.
Not a lot of power on the board, though. Cool Taskmaster. Doesn't really help.
Yep, not good enough to use the Despite right now, perhaps, so might just see Gnomish pass.
Man. Roger's really not picking up into things that are going to help him fight too much for the board. Well, or better yet, he's picking up things that can help him fight for the board, but he's not really picking up any threats of his own or any ways to cycle into more stuff.
Wow. His hand isn't very harmonious, I suppose is a good way of putting it.
Yeah. It's not like the Patron hand where you're like, oh, just one more turn and he can go off. Not quite there yet. Fireworks doesn't help at all because he already has a weapon equipped to this turn.
Right. It's got 6 mana. Emperor Thorsan right now could be played to reduce 1 combo piece. 2 if you count Whirlwind. So I'll call it 2. Additionally, it is just the strongest play you can make on the board. All the rest of the plays look kind of weak. Dart's got to be concerned because when turn 6 Thorsan comes into play, it is possible for turn 7 Warsong Commander Grim Patron, and Grim Patron clears all the Spider and the Defender of Argus.
Yeah. I've seen a lot more ooze as a popular tech choice in
Oh
Zoo
man, that
nowadays.
ooze is a big deal.
Yeah. It really is. It helps this matchup so much. I mean, just having weapon removal in general helps your matchup against patrons so much. Because all of a sudden they're
Dart might
forced
be
to have an additional
thinking
whirlwind effect.
of a very interesting path where he sends in the creeper first, and then it breaks, and then he kills off his own spiderlings with the whirlwind effect. That could have been a play around the specific war song, but it looks like Dart is instead just doubling down.
He is applying a lot of pressure. I mean, Roger's at 14 health. He needs something right now, and that's not it.
Right, what he needed was Patron. One
Yeah.
Patron clears the board here and makes your board nearly unstoppable. And I guess Dart was just living in the world of, okay, if he has those 2 cards, then he wins. If he doesn't, then I'm in a really good spot. Not even that good a spot, though, because a Whirlwind does clear off a good amount of this stuff. Execute the Spider, Whirlwind, Axe. That's a clear board.
Yeah.
If only Roger had something to go with it, like an Acolyte of Pain or a Battle Rage.
Yeah, it's been
Or
unfortunate.
just a Patron.
Or just a patron. And it's going to be a bit sad when the Dr. Boom comes
Okay.
out next turn, though.
This is interesting. It looks like I was alluding to if only Roger had something, but he's going to make something out of his cards and the Whirlwind effects. So instead of drawing a card, he's going to go with the armor gain path.
Well, we needed to get the attack off with the cool Taskmaster here. And he did. Preserves the Fiery War Axe as well. And if Dr. Boom's played, he will have something to give execute to, or to proc execute with. We'll have to sacrifice either his Inner Rage or one of his creatures.
They're looking for Battle Rage. Slam, that's good.
It's an execute activator. It also cycles through his deck. Battle Rage would also be a fantastic draw right now.
Battle Rage and Patron are the 2 cards he's looking for. Oh, not bad.
Ooh, oh man. That is brutal.
I'd be tempted to clear the bombs to have a chance of the Warsong Commander surviving.
Yeah.
Looks like that's the path Roger will take. It's a slim chance, but there's a chance. That's good.
Oh man. It
All right.
survives. There's a chance. Oh.
Okay.
It wouldn't be. Yeah.
Dark can't. Well, Dark can play the Creeper, but it's a lot of risk. You play the Creeper, that might be 3 patrons.
I would just tap and Doomguard, to be honest.
Oh,
Hope
but
you
you've got
draw this-
Mal'Ganis.
I know, but at the same time, can you?
Yeah, the
afford
opponent does
that
only
up
have one
Warsong
card in their
Commander up?
hand, and
Wow. He values potentially a random card in his deck over Mal'Ganis and Power Overwhelming.
Huh. All right. Well, the good news is, no matter what path he took, Patron top decking is one of the most hilarious things to look at.
Yeah.
Sad if you're a Patron player, but
All their cards are pretty weak by themselves.
right. So we could just see like a pretty easy 3 swings from Dart. Maybe 4. Easy to whiff 4 draws in a row if you're a Patron.
Yeah.
And you have no hand.
Mm-hmm. second Doomguard off the top. Best draw that he could have gotten. And I guess he's sort of rewarded for discarding Mal'Ganis and Doomguard the last turn. Because all of a sudden now he that would have been a Doomguard that would have had the potential to discard. And now Dart's looking at lethal next turn, and I don't think that's going to be enough for Roger. He can stay alive, but I mean, he's pretty much inevitably dead with his hand and what's going to be on the board at the end of this turn.
Yep, one of those. He's living, but you can't call that living moments.
Yeah. He's living a sad life at the moment with his Patron Warrior. All right. He's going to see if there's any way for him to survive this, but I just don't really think that there's going to be. He's going to try his best, though. I mean, what could he even draw that's going to keep him in the game?
That's the problem with Patron. There usually is no single card that you can draw when you have no board and no hand.
Oh, well, that's going to be game.
And that'll be it. Yeah.
All right. Looks like Dart is going to go up 2-1 in the series. And he's just going to make sure that it's lethal. Make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Wait, I forgot about the Armor Smith. It's still lethal. It's exactly 12. And he's going to be on match point here. He has to find a win with Rogue against either Druid or Patron Warrior.
Okay, you might find that a little bit difficult, as Druid is favored and Patron is close. So still anyone's game, though the match itself is favored for Dart now, of course, up 2-1.
Mm-hmm. All right, now there have been a lot of debates recently about the matchup between Rogue and Patron Warrior. At the beginning, when Patron Warrior was still relatively new, players were thinking, oh, Rogue is definitely favored because they have multiple board clears. But recently, a lot of players have been going more towards the line that Patron is actually favored. And I believe we looked at the stats the other day, and Patron Warrior did have a higher win rate in the matchup.
It did. Monk actually told me it used to be Rogue favored, and then Patron has had a really big streak according to tournaments played, having won the last 10 straight or some such thing. So that's really moved it towards the Patron's favor. Hard to say whether that's small tech choices from both sides, one side, or if it's simply experience from Patron, or if it's just variance.
Yeah. Patron players might be learning how to play against Rogues.
They're learning. No.
Roger's faced with a difficult choice here. And I think at this point you just have to go for it because you've thought for so long that Dart's going to know that you have Innervate on turn 1. So I think you just have to go for it. He doesn't have Wild Growth for next
deal if your opponents know you have Innervate. But yeah, I think this is a good move. Roger is pretty much going to be relying so much on the top decks from here on out, though, since he has nothing. But yeah, those Shade of Nax Ramai could grow really, really big. And I expect them to grow really, really big before they take a swing. In fact, they might not take a swing until it's the final turn of the game.
Which would be pretty scary. Picks up Savage Roar. Okay. There's the first piece. Dart's got a decision to make. He can Blood Mage or he can coin Violet Teacher. If he plays Violet Teacher, he can get immediate sap value. Violet Teacher, prep sap is one of the strongest plays you can make as Rogue against Druid.
Oh,
double
dear.
Savage Roar. Oh man, basically all Roger has to do from this point is keep these shades stealthed. So how big do they have to be for double Savage Roar to be a kill?
Well, the Savage Roar is 12 if you have only those shades out, so the opponent would be at 17. So 7 plus 5 is 12.
Oh, he's going for it now. That's bold. That's a lot of pressure. He's going to put it at 17.
But like I said, now they can be Valid Teacher Prep Sapped.
Yeah.
And the second one is unfortunately for Dart not able to be dealt with. For Roger, to some extent, you are on a clock on when to reveal them because you can get the weapon, dagger, oil, poison, flurry combo going. But there was an interesting other line of play where you simply wait for the Savage Roar on 6. With this play, though, you do get the 4 extra damage.
I wouldn't be...
from attacking twice.
To be honest, if he just charges... Okay. I was going to say, if he just puts the Druid Claw on charge for him and goes face, he puts him at 9. Would be pretty
I wouldn't
funny.
have been too surprised at that one either.
Coin oil into Blade Flurry is really strong here.
That's right. Spectacular.
Now Roger's basically
on a student. Pretty good.
Yeah. Roger's basically on the plan of oh wow, he actually takes the damage. Roger's on the plan of I basically need to draw into Force of Nature. I wouldn't be surprised if Roger just says, you know what, maybe my best chance of winning is to keep her face.
Yeah, keep her face. Hero power face makes sense. Right now he's facing down 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. So Rogue would need 7. It's possible that Rogue doesn't have 7. So if you think Rogue has 7, you go Sludge. If you think Rogue doesn't have 7, you go... Roger's taking a... Oh, he found the keep. He found the he found the force, but unfortunately doesn't have the mana to like finish it off now. Oh, the shade will work. This is gonna come down to the Lotheb.
Oh no, the Lotheb is gonna lock it out. Probably. He does have Belcher. If he didn't have Lotheb, that would have been exactly lethal with Savage or Keeper.
Right. Or just Force of Nature.
Oh yeah, or just Force of Nature. But Belcher's gonna be his last hope here.
Oh man, that Lotheb. Can it hold? Right now, Dart only has 4 extra damage. So, Sap will work.
Will Eviscerate do it?
Gets him the damage, too.
There's the Sap!
Oh, there it is. Wow.
Dart is going to take the series. A really close one, because that was on the next turn. I suppose there was a lot of outs for him. I think Blade Flurry would have done it. And Dart gives a little bit of a fist bump there.
Illuminati.
He had some struggles early on in the day, but managed to pull it together. And Dart will be the second player from Group B to move on to the semifinals tomorrow. His first matchup, he will face the first place player from Group A, which was Silent Storm, I believe. So our semifinal matchups are set. It's going to be Chalky versus Strifegrow and Dart versus Silent Storm. So that's the semifinal lineup for tomorrow. That's a pretty stacked lineup, I'd say.
Yeah, going to be exciting to see which one emerges victorious, and we'll have a chance to face the final boss, aka Trump, at PAX, where there's going to be $25,000 on the line, 320 Hearthstone points, World Championship points.
And also with that, I believe...
By 320, I meant 230. Got the numbers right, the order wrong. There you go.
Yeah, 230 World Championship points. And with that, Roger is out of contention for the running...
Too bad. That's right, Roger only needed to win today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he needed to get top 2, so tomorrow would have guaranteed him top 4. He would have only had to win 1 match tomorrow. But Roger's out of contention, so that means Tom, 60229, has locked a spot for second place in Geico points. So I believe he will be the 7th player joining us at PAX. So one spot remains, and that will be determined tomorrow. Once again, $25,000 on the line for the grand finals at PAX. As Trump mentioned, 230 World Championship points. It's already a stacked lineup, so make sure you guys look out for that tournament at the end. But we still have the conclusion of feature tournament number 4. Once again, tomorrow. There's still a lot of money on the line for the feature tournament as well. It's about a $5,000 prize pool, I believe, even more than that. 4,500 plus 1,500, so $6,000 prize pool on the line for the feature tournament. So players, even if they don't manage to make it to PAX, they still have a lot of money to win. And also, guys, we're still doing the official TSM PC giveaway. So if you want, head over to geico.onog.gg and enter to win that. It also helps support us. It gives Geico, as a title sponsor of the event, a good idea of how many people are supporting what they're doing with the summer circuit. And but I think that's going to do it for us, Trump. Do you have any final words, any shout-outs that you'd like to give before we close it out?
None other than cool tournament. See you tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Early morning again.
Early morning again. Yeah, that's right. We will return tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. PST. That is noon EDT. So make sure you guys set your alarm clocks and join us if you're on the West Coast. It's going to be definitely a fun time tomorrow as we get to the conclusion of the final featured tournament. Once again, guys, from myself, from Trump, from One Nation of Gamers, Team Liquid, TSM, and Geico, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.